Burger King is disappearing overnight. Macys is quietly shutting down stores, and Big Lots is collapsing like a house of cards. This isn't just business as usual. It's retail Armageddon. Stick around, because what's happening could affect your next shopping trip more than you think. Hey everyone, I've been tracking retail trends for years, and what I found this time shocked me. In 2025, over 2,000 stores are closing nationwide, and some of America's most iconic chains won't make it past this year. In this video, I'm breaking down the 13 biggest names on borrowed time, why they're failing, who's really getting hit, and what it means for your local economy. Trust me, this isn't just about empty storefronts. So if you've noticed your favorite store raising prices, shrinking inventory, or even locking its doors, drop a comment. What changes have you seen? Let's start with the biggest name in fast food that's suddenly disappearing: Burger King. That's right, the so-called king of flame-grilled burgers is locking doors without warning. In places like Port St. Lucie and Fort Pierce, Florida, 3 locations shut down overnight. No goodbye? No, we'll be back soon. Just dark windows, cold grills, and for lease signs popping up like weeds. Corporate hasn't even said a word about it. Nothing. Zero explanation. Just silence while workers scramble for new jobs and customers wonder what happened. If you've passed a Burger King lately, you probably saw it coming. McDonald's is upgrading stores with digital kiosks, mobile ordering, and modern menus. Chick-fil-A is dominating drive-thrus with die-hard fans and lightning-fast service. Meanwhile, BK is stuck in 2005, literally. Flickering signs, peeling paint, and a menu that feels as stale as yesterday's fries. If they don't wake up soon, the King's crown might be the next thing up for auction. Now let's talk about Macys, the department store that once defined shopping in America. Back to school season? Macys. Prom dresses? Macys. First department cookware? Also Macys. But those glory days are crumbling fast. In 2025, Macys announced plans to close 65 more stores, with an even bigger hit coming in 2026, when they plan to shut down 150 total locations. And guess what? They're not even telling us which ones yet. They call it streamlining. But let's be honest, this is panic mode. While Amazon turned online shopping into something unstoppable, and TJ Maxx made bargain hunting fun again, Macys stayed stuck in the past. Outdated stores, fake sale signs, empty aisles that feel more like a ghost town than a shopping spot. You felt it. Walking through their oversized, understocked floors, wondering why you even showed up. Macys claims they're investing in 350 go-forward locations. But let's not sugarcoat it. That's just corporate speak for, we're cutting dead weight and hoping the rest survives. So if you still have a Macys nearby, enjoy it while you can. That big red store closing banner might already be printing. Now let's talk about Big Lots, the discount store that promised big savings, but is now delivering big closures. Big Lots just dropped a bombshell that's sending shockwaves across retail. 340 stores shutting down nationwide. This isn't trimming the fat. This is a full-on collapse. Big Lots used to be the go-to for cheap home goods, seasonal decor, snacks, paper towels, all stacked high and priced low. It was the kind of place where you walked in thinking, I'll just grab one thing, and walked out with a cart full of random deals. But now, even bargain hunters are tapping out. Inflation has wrecked their customer base. People stretching every dollar just to get by aren't spending on $5 lamps when groceries cost twice as much as last year. Big Lots filed for bankruptcy, and communities like Stewart and Vero Beach, Florida, are already feeling the hit. Stores are sitting dark and empty. What's left? A handful of locations barely hanging on, surrounded by empty parking lots and store closing signs that feel like a countdown clock ticking away. Here's the real kicker. If a discount chain like Big Lots can't make it, what does that mean for the rest of the industry? We're not talking luxury retailers here. We're talking bottom-of-the-ladder stores. Big Lots was supposed to be the last stop for families looking to save. Now even they're getting crushed. This isn't just a Big Lots problem. It's a warning sign for every other mid-range retailer out there. Because if Big Lots can't survive in the save-every-penny economy of 2025, let's talk about a place that used to feel like a treat. Red Lobster. Once known as the go-to spot for fancy dining on a budget, Red Lobster built its reputation on buttery biscuits, giant shrimp platters, and the promise of affordable seafood for the masses. Families celebrated birthdays there. Couples went on first dates. For years it worked. But in 2025, that magic is gone. Red Lobster filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And they didn't just dip their toes in the water, they dove head first. They're closing nearly 100 locations across the country. So what happened? Let's start with the disaster that kicked it all off. The infamous endless shrimp promotion. It sounded like a dream deal. Unlimited shrimp for just $20. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. While seafood prices were skyrocketing, Red Lobster decided to offer bottomless shrimp at rock-bottom prices. The goal was simple. Get more people in the door. Here's the thing. They lost money on every plate. The more shrimp people ate, the deeper the company sank. They thought it would boost profits. Instead, it backfired big time. Red Lobster reportedly lost millions on the promotion, and just like that, the endless shrimp deal became the endless headache that sent them spiraling into bankruptcy. But that's not the only problem. Since 2019, Red Lobster has seen a 30% drop in customers. 1 in 3 diners just stopped showing up. People aren't willing to spend $30 on shrimp scampi when groceries are already stretching their wallets. And let's be honest, the experience hasn't aged well. The decor feels dated. The food quality is hit or miss. And the excitement is long gone. Sure, they've restructured and claimed they're on the road to recovery. But let's not kid ourselves. They're not thriving. They're surviving. And if they keep making boneheaded moves like shrimp for life during an economic meltdown, they'll be tossing more than seafood overboard. They'll be throwing in the towel for good. Now let's talk about a store that's quietly disappearing from your local shopping center. Office Depot. Raise your hand if you've actually set foot in an Office Depot in the last year. Yeah, thought so. Well, here's the news. 120 more Office Depot locations are set to shut down by mid-2025. And honestly, it's about time someone called it like it is. Let's face it. Who's rushing out to buy printer ink or a pack of Post-it notes when Amazon will drop it on your doorstep tomorrow for less? With millions still working from home, that corporate office supply run is basically dead. You don't need to fill your trunk with printer paper when your office is now your couch, your kitchen table, or your bed. Office Depot has been bleeding for years. Rising rent, shrinking foot traffic, a customer base that's moved online or cut back entirely. Now they're spinning it like some kind of digital transformation. Let me translate that for you. We're shutting down stores because nobody shops here anymore. That's it. That's the headline. Behind those headlines, thousands of workers are about to lose their jobs. Thousands of families are wondering how they'll make ends meet. And for your community? Another giant, empty retail shell sitting in the middle of a shopping center. Lights off, doors locked, and 4 lease signs taped to the windows. It's not just the employees who lose out. Cities and towns lose tax revenue. Neighboring stores lose foot traffic. And customers? Well, let's be honest. Most moved on years ago. Office Depot says they're focusing on digital solutions and streamlining for the future. But come on, we all know what that really means. We're done betting on brick and mortar. So if your local Office Depot still has the lights on, enjoy it while it lasts. Because the closed forever sign might already be in the back room, waiting to go up next. Now let's shift gears to something a little different. Tijana Flats. If you've never been, picture this. Neon signs, goofy wall art, a hot sauce bar with names like Death Wish and Smack My Ass, Call Me Sally. This place was the quirky, casual Tex-Mex stop for families and college students in Florida and beyond. But here's what they didn't tell you when they handed you that giant burrito. The chain is broke. Yep. Chapter 11. Bankruptcy hit them like a drop tray of nachos. 11 locations already gone, doors locked, lights out, tacos off the table. The company got greedy. They overexpanded way too fast, opening new spots like they were handing out flyers. All while inflation, rising food costs, and higher wages made every taco more expensive to make and harder to sell. And let's be real, how often do you crave Tijana Flats when there's a Taco Bell, Chipotle, or a local Mexican joint just down the street? Those 2 locations still hanging on in places like Stewart and Port St. Lucie. They're basically living on borrowed time. If you're a fan of their queso or atomic hot sauce, better grab it while you can. Because another wave of closures is just 1 bad quarter away. Let's keep going down the list with a name that used to be everywhere. Sears. Yes, that's Sears. The one your parents swore by for tools, appliances, and even clothes. But now, it's barely holding on. Sears was once the king of American retail. They invented the mail order catalog. Back in the day, you could order anything from Sears, from a lawnmower to an entire house. But when the digital age hit, they didn't just fall behind. They fell asleep at the wheel. And now in 2025, Sears is closing another 40 stores. That's not trimming. That's collapsing. These aren't just empty shelves or slow checkout lines anymore. These are full-on ghost towns. Flickering lights, clearance signs covered in dust, and aisles so empty they echo. If you walk into a Sears today, it doesn't feel like shopping. It feels like walking through a memory. The few Sears locations still open are basically museums of what retail used to be. And let's be real. No one's rushing to visit a museum when they can just order online. Sears tried to pivot. They sold off Kenmore appliances, partnered with Walmart, even opened Sears home stores. But it was all too little, way too late. And it's not just Sears customers who lose out. Communities are losing jobs, families are losing paychecks, shoppers are losing yet another reason to go to the mall. And honestly, most people already stopped going years ago. So here's the truth. Sears isn't dying. Sears is already dead. They're just dragging their feet before pulling the plug. Now let's talk about a store that built its empire on fake sales and paper coupons. Kohls. Kohls used to be the weekend destination for shoppers who thought they were getting a deal. Clearance racks, Kohls cash, and those endless doorbuster ads made you feel like you were saving money, even if you weren't. But in 2025, Kohls is closing 85 more stores. Why? Because they got lazy. While shoppers moved online, Kohls stayed stuck in the paper coupon era. Remember when they teamed up with Amazon to accept returns in store? That sounded smart until people realized they could just drop off the package and leave without buying a thing. Turns out, foot traffic dropped, sales flatlined, and suddenly, Kohls wasn't the budget-friendly go-to anymore. They were overpriced, outdated, and irrelevant. Shoppers finally figured out that 40% off sticker. Yeah, it was 40% off an already inflated price. And once that illusion broke, there was nothing left. Now Kohls is cutting jobs, closing stores, and praying their so-called go-forward strategy works. Spoiler alert, it won't. If your local Kohls has been feeling emptier lately, it's not your imagination. It's reality setting in. Now let's shift gears to a department store that used to be every family's back-to-school stop, JCPenney. Once upon a time, JCPenney was where you went for school clothes, home goods, and that one shirt Dad needed for work. They had affordable brands, decent service, and predictable sales. But then came the failed rebranding, the confusing pricing, and worst of all, the pandemic. Foot traffic never really recovered. Malls that relied on JCPenney as an anchor store started crumbling. And now, in 2025, they're shutting down 50 more stores. They tried everything. Store remodels, new brand partnerships, flashy marketing campaigns. None of it worked. While Target and Amazon evolved, JCPenney kept printing flyers like it was 1999. And now, the clearance racks are looking thinner. The crowds are gone. And the few remaining stores? They're just waiting their turn. If you've walked into a JCPenney lately and felt the sadness in the air, yeah, you're not imagining it. This isn't just a failing business. This is a dying era. Let's talk about a store that used to feel like a safe bet. Sam's Club. If you're not familiar, it's Walmart's warehouse club, the big box cousin of your local supercenter. For years, Sam's Club was where shoppers went for bulk deals, membership perks, and those giant packs of snacks that lasted forever. But in 2025, Sam's Club is closing 20 more stores across the country. That's right, even the warehouse giants aren't immune to what's happening in retail. While Costco keeps winning with top-tier customer loyalty, exclusive offers, and premium in-house brands, Sam's Club is stuck playing catch-up and losing badly. The truth? People are starting to realize that buying in bulk isn't always the deal it claims to be. Sometimes, Walmart.com undercuts their own warehouse prices. Sometimes, Amazon beats them on convenience. And during inflation, spending $30 on a 50-roll pack of toilet paper doesn't feel like a win. It feels like a gamble. Membership numbers are slipping. Shoppers are canceling renewals. Stores are looking emptier than ever. The once busy aisles now echo with silence. And let's be real, when your go-to spot for bulk sour cream starts feeling like a ghost town, something's wrong. Sam's Club tried to pivot. They pushed curbside pickup, expanded online ordering, and added more digital tools. But here's the thing. Warehouse shopping isn't just about deals. It's about experience. It's about walking through the aisles, seeing the stacks of cereal boxes, grabbing samples at the demo tables.